Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to do a seated Pilates workout, and just a couple of things. Shoes are optional, but if you don't have shoes on, so that you can have a little more contact and feedback from your feet, make sure you're on a stable surface, that you're not on a slippery surface. If you have a mat, you could put a mat underneath, or if you can move your chair onto a rug. And you also want to just pay attention to how you're feeling as you do the movements. Anything that seems difficult or isn't working, if you've got a shoulder issue or a hip issue, a knee issue, ankle, or head, neck, and shoulders. So just being very aware of how you're feeling and just take it easy as you move through the workout. So a couple of things, we're going to work on some breathing, we're going to work on some shoulder mobility, some pelvic mobility, we're going to work on some hip mobility, and we're going to work actually the whole body. So we will be doing this in a seated position. At some point, we are going to be doing a seated sit to stand. And again, that is optional. You could do just a little hover, but I will talk you through that and give you some modifications. So first thing, we want to, come down to your chair. My chair has somewhat half kind of armrests on it that you can use. And then when you're sitting, you want to sit with your feet on the floor. So you want to have good grounding with your feet on the floor. And you just want to take a moment to just kind of check in, right? So check into your body. Notice your feet on the floor. Notice your shoulders. Notice how you're sitting. And I want you to sit a little bit further forward on your chair so that you are not quite at the edge. But if we sit back, we have a tendency to just kind of be more in a slouched position. So we want to come up to that front third of your chair and just let your hands rest on your thighs. Think about lifting through the crown of your head so that you can get a nice lengthened spine. So we're going to start with some breathing. And we're going to first just bring one hand to your collarbone and one hand to your low belly. You're going to take a breath in and you're going to feel your hands on your inhale breath start to rise. And then on your exhale breath, you're going to feel your hands kind of sink into the chest and sink into the belly. So again, you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You could also breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. So you're going to be feeling your hands rising on your inhale breath and sinking on your exhale breath. And then we want to bring our hands to our side ribs. So we're bringing our hands to our side ribs, and we're feeling this expansion of our rib cage on our inhale breath. So inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhale. And then one more placement of our hands. So we're going to go back to our collarbone and a little bit lower into our low belly or closer to our pubic bone. As we inhale this time, we want to inhale and feel like our hands are sliding apart. Feel how we get length through our spine. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. So what we just practiced was a 3D breath breakdown. So we're breathing front to back. Sometimes you can place one hand behind your low back, feeling that expansion of your back at the same time that you feel your chest or your belly. Rib cage expansion, feeling our hands moving out, and then also length through our spine. And exhale. So we want to focus on breathing through all of our movements. We're going to think about our neck next. So arms are just relaxed. If we just let our shoulders relax, not necessarily thinking about pulling our shoulders down, but just relaxing our shoulders. And then we're going to have our chin level to the floor. So again, we've got that length through our spine. We are grounded through our feet. And then we're just going to slowly start to nod the chin forward. And then we're going to lift our head back up. And again, lowering our chin and lifting up. So adding breath. So we're inhaling and exhaling as we bring our chin slightly towards our chest, feeling that stretch through the back of the neck, inhaling to bring our head back up. One more time, exhaling. And inhaling. And then we're going to slowly, keeping our chin level, turn our head towards the right. Notice any tension on this left side. Inhale, coming back to center. This time we're going to exhale, turning our head to the left. Inhaling, back to center. Let's go again to our right. Over to the right. And back to center. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale. Over to the left. And back to center. Just noticing the differences on our right side and our left side. And then we're going to start to make a small circle. We're going to use our nose as the guide. We're going to look slightly over to the right. We're going to look down towards the floor, back to our center, over to the left, back up, and back to center. So again, our nose is the guide so that we're not taking it in too much of a rotation. Just kind of noticing as you turn, as you lower, coming around, up, and forward. And just pause in your center. And then let's take it in the opposite direction, turning left, looking down, over to the center, over to the right, lifting up, and back to center. One more time to the left, turning left, lowering down, so chin comes towards the chest, to our center, over to the right, and back up, and center. And then let's just let the arms hang at your side. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to let our shoulders go up towards our ears, roll them back, and lower them down. So inhaling, bringing our shoulders up, shoulders back, and shoulders down. And inhale up, and back, and down. And lifting up, and back, and down. And then let's go in the opposite directions. Lift our shoulders up, roll them slightly forward and down. And lift up and forward and down. Inhaling as we lift our shoulders. Exhale as we lower. One more time. And then let's reach our arms out, lifting our arms up towards the ceiling, feeling like we're lifting our ribs up off our pelvis. And then let's just bend our elbows into a goalpost. So when we bend into a goalpost, our elbows are a little bit forward of our shoulders. We're just going to bring our arms in, just shoulder width. And then we're going to open out to the side. So again, any tension in the shoulder or the neck, you could lower your arms down, make your movement a little bit smaller, and just feeling that conversation that's happening between your collarbone and your shoulder blade. Feeling when you open up your arms into that goalpost that your shoulders are pressing up into your back. Even give them a little squeeze. Squeeze those shoulders together. This helps with our posture. And then let your arms come forward. And the arms reach back. Let's do one more. Elbows in and arms back. And then let's let the arms come back down. Do a shoulder roll if that tightened up the shoulder. And then we're going to lift our arms up again. This time, we're just going to bring our hands behind our head. So when hands are behind our head, we want to press our head back and look forward. So in that position, we're just strengthening the muscles in the front of our neck. So again, we're just pressing our head back. We're keeping our chin level to the floor. And then just relax for a moment. So again, pressing back into our hands and releasing. And then we'll let the arms come all the way back down. All right, so the arms are just relaxed on the shoulders. Hands are going to rest once again onto the tops of the legs. And we're just going to start to do a small roll down. So you're bringing your chin towards your chest, looking down towards the legs, and then inhaling, coming back up. So we're just moving our upper part of our back, so our upper back. So again, nice and tall, and tipping forward, and rising back up. Let's do a couple more. Keeping a nice tall spine, except for the very top. So you want to think of our spine is straight and we're making a slight curve at the top, like the top of a candy cane. So we lengthen and curl. Inhale, back up. Let's do one more. In and exhale. Now, focusing a little bit on our pelvis. So our feet are grounded. Our pelvis is vertical. So we're sitting on our sit bones. If we kind of rock back and forth, we'll feel those bony landmarks. Hands can rest on your thighs, and your pelvis is going to roll behind and then come right back on top. So I'm going to turn to the side. Okay. You can see a little bit better. So sitting on the front edge, and then hands are just resting here, and it's just rolling behind. So the rest of my spine staying reaching up towards the ceiling. And then I'm coming back up on top. So just a slight amount of tucking your pelvis, lengthening your lower back, coming right back up on top of those sit bones. Let's do one more. And back. And then we have the ability to rock our pelvis onto one side. So one side lifts, lower that down, and lift, and lower down. And our knees are staying relatively quiet. Just hiking up one side and lowering. And back. And then I'm going to turn my chair around, slide back a little bit. We're going to work a little bit on a breathing technique called the 100. So arms are going to be a little bit lower than your shoulders, and you're going to be pressing the arms back, like you're pushing the air behind you. We want to think about our breath. We're going to go in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. So this kind of is an internal heating mechanism for the body, kind of warms up all your muscles and joints. So take it slow. We'll take a break at 50. We'll take a little rest, and then we'll do 50 more. So the way the number gets to 100 is we're breathing in for 5 counts, we're breathing out. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and you're kind of counting or keeping the beat with your arms pressing down and back, widening through your collarbones. So arms start to press, and then we're going to take a long breath in for 5. So in 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a slight break here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let's take it for 50 more. So arms are reaching back. You're pushing that air back. You're widening through your collarbone. You're staying nice and vertical. You're pulling your belly in slightly. And breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And rest. Just take some nice, easy, slow breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, we're going to work a little bit more on our spinal mobility. So we're lifting up. We're thinking about rounding that upper back. And then we're just looking down, and we're going to roll our pelvis back slightly. And then roll our pelvis forward and lift all the way up. So again, hands are pressed down onto your thigh, inhaling up, exhaling, rounding, and slight roll back of the pelvis. Roll the pelvis forward and lift up. 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more. And inhale. And then let's take our hands and cross at the chest. So we're holding on to the opposite shoulder. We're keeping our spine nice and tall. Feet are grounded. And then we're just slowly looking over that right shoulder. And then coming back to our center. And turning to the left, and back to the center. What you might find is that you turn a little easier to one side. So inhaling up nice and tall, exhaling to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the left and back to center. Let's remove the arms from the shoulders. Let's go to a goalpost arm and we're going to try our twist. So we're turning to the right and back to center and turning to the left and back to center. Over to the right and back to center. And then we're going to let the arms relax. So we're taking it now into a seated mermaid. So one hand's going to stay on the seat of the chair. The opposite arm is going to come up alongside the ear, and we're side bending over. So the arm that's on the chair could bend a little bit back. You could also rest it on your armrest if you have an armrest. And the arm is coming up first, lengthening on that left side, and then all the way over, and then back. And then we'll bring that hand down, send your right arm up, and again, could be resting up and over. Imagine that you're between two panes of glass, letting that arm come up and over and back. Sending that arm up and over and back. Let's do a couple more. Up and over. And again, one side might move a little bit better, just taking it slow, reaching to the ceiling, up and over, and back down. Let's raise the arms up this time, and we're going to do a little bit of a hip hinge. So preparing ourselves to work on the lower body. We're just reaching forward, staying grounded through your sit bones, and then back up to the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a hip hinge. We're leaning forward, reaching the arms forward, and then back up to the ceiling. Reaching forward and back up. Let's do two more. Reaching forward and back up. And then letting the arms come down, just taking a moment here, taking a nice deep breath in and relax. I'm going to slide my chair back a little bit so you can see what's going on with my feet. And we are sitting with feet grounded. We're still at the upper part or front part of our chair. And with our feet on the floor, hands can be on your chair. You're going to lift your heels up and then lower your heels back down. So lifting our heels up and lowering back down. So lifting and lowering. Pressing into all of the toe joints, so the knuckles of your toes, really feeling that big toe, and then lower back down. And then let's take it one at a time. One heel lifts, the other heel lifts, one heel lifts, the other heel lifts. So one is going up and one is going down. Pelvis is still in a vertical position. Shoulders are still relaxed. So one heel lifts and one heel lowers. And then both heels, let's bring our heels together. So we're pressing our heels. We've got a little bit of a frog leg. We're squeezing our heels and then we're releasing. Squeezing the heels, and we're going to feel those inner thighs start to wake up and release. And then we can drop our heels and lift our heels. Drop our heels and lift. And then we're going to step our feet a little bit wider. So in this wide position, you're going to lift both heels up, let one heel come down, and then lift the other. And again, arms can come out. We can hold our hands in front. We're just lifting, rolling through our ankle, up one heel and back down. And then we're going to walk our feet back in. So hands are going to come back onto the chair. We're going to just extend or slide one leg out and then slide that leg back in. Slide the opposite leg out. Try to straighten that knee and slide the leg in. Slide the leg out. When we slide the leg out, the knee is straight and back in. Slide out and back. Pressing through your heel when your leg is extended, soften as you pull it back in. One more on each side. And we'll pause here. And then just taking a moment to just tap your heels on the floor. And again, one at a time, just a little slight pounding on the floor. And then we're going to begin to lift one leg. So again, arms can help to assist. Your arms could be on the seat of your chair. It could be on your armrest. You're lifting one leg up and lowering. What tends to happen is the pelvis has a tendency to roll back. Try to stay right up on top of those sit bones, holding onto the side of the chair if you need to. The leg doesn't have to come up very high. You're just thinking about the top of the leg looks like a ball. You're rolling that ball backwards to lift your leg and rolling it forward to lower the leg. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. And then let's switch to the other leg. Just noticing the difference. Maybe this is an easier leg. Maybe this is a more difficult leg. And then we're going to slide that right leg out and just see if we can float that leg up slightly with a long lever. So again, we're nice and tall. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. And then we'll slide that leg in. Slide that left leg out. You're reaching down and out through your heel. Load up and lower. And then go ahead and bring that leg in. I'm going to turn my chair once again. I want to get to. So when we do our sit to stands, you are going to have your hands on the seat of your chair. You're putting the weight into your feet, and we are just going to do a modified version. You're just going to unweight your pelvis and then come back up. All right, so you're tipping slightly forward, unweighting your pelvis, and then sitting back. So tipping forward and back. And if this is too much, just work on your marching. And then again, hinge forward. Press into your feet, unweight the pelvis, and come back up. Let's just do a couple more. Hinge forward, lift, and roll. And then we are going to extend our right leg. So when your right leg extends, you're going to hinge forward and you're just going to unweight that right leg. That's going to activate your quad muscle, which is above your knee. So you're just feeling that activation. Work on a little leg strengthening and then slide that leg in, come up nice and tall. Slide your left leg out. You're hinging slightly forward so your back is nice and straight. Tighten that quad and just let your foot lift slightly. Slide that leg back in. Let's do just a couple more on each leg. So hinging, lifting that leg, reaching forward, lowering, coming back, and left leg, reaching forward, lifting, and back. We're going to turn to the side and do a little seated lunge. Now I'm able, if you're not able to do this on your existing chair, if you have a chair without arms, you would be, and you could try this later, you're just letting your outside leg, so you're sitting on the chair, your arm is going to go onto the back of the chair, and your outside knee is just dropping down towards the floor. We're trying to open up the front of the hip. So just keeping the foot on the floor and just taking the outside arm up and coming into a little side bend here and just feeling how that opens up the front of the hip. Also the side, taking a breath or two here. And then we'll come back up and slide that leg forward. So let's do it one more time, just sliding that foot back, dropping your knee down towards the floor, trying to square the pelvis, and then into your side bend. And then back. And then slide that leg in. Turn my chair the other way. The other way. So again, you're going to be just sitting, turning to your side, sitting up nice and tall and starting to drop that leg down. So we want to keep the pelvis square, holding onto your back of your chair, dropping down, lifting that arm up and over. Just take a nice long breath here. And then back to center, the arm come down, slide your leg in, and let's go again. You're going to drop that knee down, square the pelvis, so you're up nice and tall, send that arm up and over. Back, and down. And then turn my chair once more. And then from the forward position, we're going to take your arms up and just start to slide the legs a little bit forward and fold forward over the legs. And then you're going to slowly re-stack up. So staying grounded through your feet, staying grounded through your pelvis, and then lifting up and coming forward. And inhale, back up. One more time, up and over. And then keeping the back straight this time and hinging forward and back. And hinging forward and back. And then letting the arms all the way down. And then taking your right leg up and then crossing your left thigh. So you're going to flex your foot, and depending on how open you are in your hip, you're just going to do a slight tip forward. So making sure that your foot is across the top of your opposite thigh and your foot is flexed, and just take it forward. And then we'll uncross, slide that left leg out, flex your foot, hinge forward, and then come back up and uncross. Let's do it one more time on each side. Float that leg up, flex your foot, and fold forward. And then back and lift up and forward. And then taking your right leg, extending it out, and then just hinging forward with a straight leg, flexing your right foot, and then coming back in, reaching your left foot out, and hinging forward. Slide that leg in. Let's do one more on each side. Reaching. Slide that leg in and forward and back. And then taking your arms up to the ceiling, out to the side, and reaching back. So somewhere to the back of your chair, lift and look up. So watching anything going on in the neck, you're going to look where the wall meets the ceiling. Lifting the chest, and then relaxing, and then once again, lifting and releasing. And one more time, lifting and releasing. And then letting the arms come up. And when we reach up again this time, let's let the left arm come down. Keep reaching that right arm up. And let's take that left knee up. So working on a little bit of seated balance. And then lower. And then taking that left arm up. Loading that right leg up. And lower. Again, right arm goes up. Left leg goes up. And lower. Left arm. And right leg. And down. Both arms are going to come up. Both arms are going to open out to the side. We're going to make a big circle. We're just like we're hugging a tree. And then we're going to open the elbows back and then reach. So the arms will stay on the side of the body, elbows peek slightly behind and back. And open and back. And then we're going to bring our elbows in as if we're serving. All right, so we've got two platters on each, one on each hand. We're going to reach our arms forward, open out to the side, reach the arms forward, slide the elbows back. Reach the arms forward, open to the side, reach forward, and back. Two more. Reaching forward, and out, forward, and back. turn your palms down. You're going to reach the arms forward. You're going to bring your hands to your forehead. So you're going to make a little diamond shape. Hinge just a slight forward position so that your back is nice and straight. And then just reach the elbows forward. So you're straightening your elbows and then pulling elbows back. And reach forward and back. And press forward and back. 2 more. And last one, you're going to go up, out, and around. And then just taking 3 big breaths as we sweep the arms up and down. And inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. And then just take the hands on the thigh. Take one more nod forward with the chin. Roll the pelvis back slightly. Forward, up, nice and tall. And just take one more big breath in. And exhale. Thank you, everyone.